fine. Why are we doing this now? Hang on. Hi, welcome back, friends, to Occultists Anonymous. Sponsored by Roll20, the Onyx Pat, and viewers like you.
The distraction train is strong.
Oh yeah, like it's wee. It's a day. I'm having a good time. The coffee may have hit just a little bit special today. Yeah. So a special shout out to everybody who supports us in any way, shape, or form. Thank you very much for your continued support. It does mean a lot to us, and it still surprises us that like you guys are hanging around. A special shout out to our patrons who support us monetarily. Adele, Al, Alan, Michael, Alexander. I did that off of memory, and that can be dangerous. Angfalith, Bernie, Blood Angel, Brendan, Chris, Daniel, Doc the Undead, Delore, Drugs. That's not tall. We're not advocating drugs. Emil, Funzusu Raleigh. We're not advocating.
We're not advocating. We're not advocating either.
George, Jack, Jenny, John, Josh, Julian, Catfeathers, Crazy Man 1772, Melissa, Michael, Milo V3, Moku, Neomegus, Nova, Parker, Perry, Puppeteer, Riafio, Ryan, Shaksara, Cinna, Songbird, Be Like Aura, Darren, The Arcane, Thomas, Toast, Usuf Sama, Vortex, and Zoltan. There is no Songbird here. There is only Isabel.
I mean,
there's no Sophie here either.
There's no Sophie here. There is a Sophia, though.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, chat. I came into our little private chat. We were talking about aspirations and stuff for tonight, and I was in the middle of my werewolf game where my character is Sophie, and I typed, Sophie wants to hang out with Gisela, and I was like, oh no. I was today years old when I realized the fuck up that I made.
And yes. If you are on Patreon, please don't feel necessary to come and support us on Twitch. Thank you. You're doing it
unless you want to reach deep down into Jeff Bezos's pocket.
That's true. If you have Twitch
Prime sub,
steal dollars from Jeff Bezos and give it to us,
which we will use irresponsibly.
We promise.
Have you seen this? Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, today. All right. Today was a thing at work, so we're just everybody hang on. Right. So there was a thing I was going to do. Oh, yes. Quick reminder for everybody who's watching, YouTube and Twitch folks, OPPCon is June 11th, 12th, and 13th, which if you're watching this on YouTube is this Friday. Twitch guys, it's next week. Basically, this channel on Twitch, twitch.tv/Occultists Anonymous, is going to be the home all weekend for all the Chronicles of Darkness streams, which a little bit mind-numbing and kind of awe-inspiring and kind of awesome.
Cool. Sounds like there's going to be some good games.
Yeah. Friday before our game, there's going to be a Contagion Chronicle game. Then our game Saturday is going to be a Dark Eras to Hunter Fear and the Golden Promise of Tomorrow, which I can't remember what setting that one is. Changeling the Lost Arthurian Chronicle stuff. So that's going to be King Arthur and stuff like that. Sunday will be Deviant the Renegades, Dark Eras to the Devil in the Deep Blue Sea, which has one of two options, Geist or Mage. Pirates
Geist and Mage.
It's good. It's good no matter which way it goes. And then
man, that sounds like a fun game. Why didn't we play that?
Because you guys wanted to do Wild West shit. And
Drew
then
to
round out
rules.
Sunday, it'll be Dark Eras to the Great War, which is World War I trench warfare stuff, which is Geist and Werewolf. So a lot of good stuff we'll be having next week. Literally in this channel, just come by and just hang out in the channel all week. Cool. So when we last left the not Cabal, the gang was finally meeting up. Had almost said lunch. Oh, sure, lunch, sure. Tea at Theodosia's wagon, where Theodosia and Cloak kind of hit everybody over the head and said, "We're all friends here." Less friends and more, hey, we all do power, and Theo was like, let's all work together, and Cloak was like, I would like to work together, but if we don't work together, I will kill you.
No,
More or less, I'm paraphrasing.
Enemy.
It was a
Powerful friend.
if you don't want to
if
be
we don't
my
work
friend,
together, if you don't work together and you threaten my people,
yeah.
There was a big condition on that.
So they kind of separated ways when finished out the kind of festival day. It was Saturday, and it was an unusual Saturday off because it is 1846 and capitalism sucks. We pick up now Sunday, a day of rest for basically the entire town. Even if you are not actually reverent and faithful, most everybody is at least seen at one of the two churches. There's the Catholic Church on one side of the street, and then there is the Protestant Church on the other side of the street, and basically you go to one of the two. Amusingly, they are also happening at the same time. And as people are coming in the morning, dressed in their Sunday best, the pastor and priest are kind of speaking loudly across at each other. It is at this point now playful banter, like acknowledgement that neither of them are leaving, and they each basically at this point have, like, the congregations are split. I wouldn't say necessarily evenly. It leans a little bit more on the Catholic side, but at this point it's settled down. Sermons are had, mass, the whole shebang. We're not going heavily into that. They may go talk to the pastors and preachers later, but we don't need religion to be a major focus here, unless we talk voodoo, in which case, yes. Well, actually, is voodoo a religion, or
It's a syncretic faith. Yes.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, if it doesn't matter.
And speaking of that, Cloak definitely attends mass. He's been waiting for the moment to, insert himself in the town, right?
Mm-hmm.
Join up more fully, and attending mass is an important way to do that. So
yeah, so he's probably been doing that for the past couple weeks.
Maybe, yeah. Since we discussed that he's been, actually making himself known, so we can say that. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and again, what actually happens within the churches, we don't need to go into that. Because it will make some people uncomfortable, and that's not necessary.
Sure.
So yeah.
Unless something exciting happens.
Right, indeed. Yeah. And so, yeah, we pick up basically as people are coming out, and, at this point, of course, it's similar to yesterday, and for a lot of people, they're picking up more or less where they left off. Little less drinking. It is not,
little less.
The beer's not free.
Little less than the town celebration.
A lot less. Now, once gets a little closer to sundown and stuff like that, and people make their way over. But it is still more of a relaxed atmosphere. There's quite a few people who make their way home, get food and bring it out again to the green. It is kind of an odd scenario that they're doing this 2 days in a row, but very rarely do they have 2 days off in a row. So of course people are doing it. And this is as Chad is saying, yes, 2-day weekend. Woo! And so yes, we pick up with our various mages somewhere kind of mingling amongst the crowd in various places. And where are we going first? Because this is all on them, guys. So wherever this episode goes, it's all their fault. I'm just along for the ride. Because they have a bunch of aspirations that are going to send them everywhere, and I look forward to it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that. See, when Theo goes to church, very often the sermons start to turn towards wanton women and controlling lust and that kind of stuff. So she doesn't.
It seems that way to her, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on here.
Confirmation bias, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Best way to suggest. Oh, I should say best way. I imagine it also can be a conflict for Theo because her absence from a sermon like that would support the biases that these people have. The unjustified biases, of course, right? The assumptions they're making about your intentions.
Yeah, but she's fairly new in town, so I guess she'll try it out until things turn, because they usually.
All right.
So she'll be milling around, but like in the back and staying out of focus.
Is she attending mass?
Yeah, she'd be attending mass.
Okay.
Her and Catherine.
Well, Cloak would definitely approach her afterwards, in the standard way.
Sure.
And he probably would have also seen her at this point. Yeah.
So as you're
That'd be
approaching,
direct.
Monsieur Bouchard, I don't believe you've met my friend, Catherine. Catherine Moody, Monsieur Bouchard.
A great pleasure. How are
Catherine
you?
give you a little curtsy.
And Cloak says, peace be with you.
And with you.
So with your spirit.
What
all
are your
you,
plans
all
for
you
the day?
nerds out there having
Pregnant
little
pause.
force, little twitches and stuff like that, it's okay.
Did they have the with your spirit at the time or no?
I
that a
think
recent
at the
edition?
time it would have been. Oh man, I'm rusty. I couldn't tell you.
I'm not well versed on my
1846.
1800s Catholic greetings. Sorry.
And also with your spirit.
Anywho,
Cloak says, what are your plans today?
Chores. It's been a little while since we've taken the barrow out and done some dung gathering and things. So,
Would you
I
like
kinda
help
had-
with the labor?
oh,
Yes, I am offering help.
there's that sledgehammer in the conversation. Well, we certainly wouldn't say no.
So you are saying yes.
Yes.
What time should I come to your carriage?
How about 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock works for me. I will see you then.
Okay.
And he, leads to Catherine and says, enchanté.
So as he's walking away, Theo just kind of leans. He's exceedingly direct. Don't read anything.
Well, I mean, it is a bit refreshing.
But also off-putting, right? There's none of the
little bit.
usual niceties that decorate up a conversation.
No, but
There's-
it makes
there's no fluff.
conversations so much faster.
Yes, yeah, but there's no fluff with the conversation. It's direct and right to the point, right? Like a hammer and a nail. So hanging around long enough to have been a presence, but not long enough that people will start to gossip. You and Catherine will head back.
Isabel's all up in the crowd,
Talking, chatting, being super
talking,
friendly.
chatting. Yep,
That's what I'm talking about.
blending in.
I'm gonna try to do this. Where's
You're
my-
probably at the other church, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
I need to scroll down. No wonder. I'm like,
Yeah, it was
what
up
are you trying
top.
to do?
No
Wow.
yantra bonus, no willpower.
No, basically, Gisela is trying to not curse this time because that was difficult, but she wants to practice. So she's like, as she's like shaking hands with people, she is trying to put on the small good luck spell.
Oh, she's passing out blessings
Mhm.
at church.
Oh, benediction.
Sure.
How
Yeah.
about that?
Heck yeah. Yeah, so
During
no,
the after the service when everybody is milling about. I don't know if they do food.
probably not.
Baptists do food at church.
Baptists definitely do food. In this particular
I don't know
case,
that Anglicans do.
I don't know that Anglicans do.
This is definitely like there. It is literally. We're not even going to talk about that. It's just there's the Catholic Church and then the other church.
I was just figuring because it's fucking-
Right.
What's his name? Set it up probably.
It was
So.
probably set up that way originally, and quickly realized I had like that poor pastor was like, I have way.
Sure.
Never mind. It's just
non-denominational.
You get the not Catholics.
yep.
I'm going to talk in English. If you want to hear me in English, come over here.
If you want Latin, that's over there. More or less, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
But yeah, do you want to? Yeah, well, yeah. I guess you're just literally handing them out. So yeah.
Yeah. It's just 3 dice. We'll
Mhm.
see. Do it a few times. Basically, she's trying to practice.
Right.
1 success.
Mm.
And yeah, obviously no -1 because each of these is a new attempt at a spell. Hang on. Sorry. Just a moment of realizing. These are active spells, and you have Gnosis
right.
1.
I can only hold 1, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I give out 1.
Yep. Which, yeah, you do so successfully. I was like, yeah, how many of these? Wait, hang on, many. No, that's not a thing we can do yet. Not with just the 2 free reach.
Which may be a thing that she's learning, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah, casting out the first one. I guess that is a good point. We cast the first one. Second one fails because we will say that she didn't reach and realize there's this little bit of fumbling of I can only do this one at a time. But yeah, this is a great setup for for Gisela to make some mistakes and or figure something out. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that. Just like she tries to do it again, and the spell didn't work, but
right. But we will represent that narratively in the fact that she failed to reach for that extra active spell. Yep. Cool.
So someone has the reaches I used were instant and duration. So it's only like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take the reach to make it occur within the hour, so they may or may not get lucky.
Right. It would be just a small thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely. Now, here's the question. Are you going to watch them for a while?
Yes.
Oh, actually, hang on. Is that a duration spell?
It's potency.
Oh, that's interesting. Why is it potency?
Because it's withstood by composure.
Oh.
If it's hostile.
Right, because if it's hostile. Yep, okay. That makes sense. Okay. Cool. But
I guess could I just spend that reach to change it? Isn't that what changes it?
You would have to spend 3 reach still because it would be instant, advanced duration, and then swapping potency to duration to get you that extra step.
Yeah, I just didn't know if I could do that instead of advanced.
Yeah, because it still starts at the standard.
Yeah, and I'm just sort of gonna
pick somebody at random.
Watch as we are out and about in the crowd, and I want to see if basically, imagine I'm watching with Mage Sight because I want to see the look.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, and following, whoever it is, is very easy because of that Mage Sight. You're able to see awakened magic that is related to fate on a person. You can see your signature nimbus on them. Can kind of watch. And I think, after, and specifically because you didn't take that reach, you'd probably watch them for an hour of everybody chit-chatting and stuff like that. And you watch your spell kind of disappear, you feel it come out of your active control. And no, nothing really happened.
Okay, we'll try it again. With the reach, which has me overreaching by 1.
Okay. Either way, I just have to roll one die. You're going to spend the mana on it, or
no.
Add it.
I don't know why I did that up again.
Oh, roll your wisdom. All 8 of it.
Just click it. Will it go? No.
You can just do the spell roll with 8.
Five successes.
Ooh, it sadly doesn't actually do anything with the wisdom roll. But yeah, so you take 1 resistant bashing wound. Which how do you feel that that kind of takes place for her?
I feel like it's like pulling a muscle.
So some kind of bruise. Well, not necessarily bruises, but just this ache.
It's more that she can feel that she was straining.
Sure.
Yeah. And now, it worked, but you feel like you pulled something.
And then roll the 3 dice.
Does it work?
Hey,
Yes.
cool. Yeah. So yeah, you'll have to watch, and yeah, like I said, probably we will generate this NPC out of air. But yeah, some nice mother, that for whatever took caught your eye, and watches things go through, and they're out having food or whatever, and yeah, some particularly lucky scenario. I don't know, somebody comes by and notices her child doesn't have an apple. Well, here, have one of my apples. And it's like, oh, okay. Not exactly a lucky thing for her, but, yeah. Yeah, and you can watch as it happens. And then I in my head, I feel that the spell automatically falls away because there's no reason for it to
because
continue.
it's used, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's see. Does it? Yes. As long as the spell remains active, the subject experiences an event.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that should be what ends the spell.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And small sense of satisfaction because it worked.
And you figured it out, that little extra reach and the little muscle twinge.
Not great, but you can
15 minutes. Actually,
push and stream, yeah.
That's true. Actually, by the time it actually happens, the
we feel fine.
Yeah. Well, Isabella's in the crowd. Is she attempting to do anything, or just kind of making her, self seen and known?
Yeah, just making a positive, or I think she's well liked for the most part.
Oh yeah.
In town, there's maybe a few people that don't approve of the carrying on that happens at the tavern, but
right.
That's not exactly her fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and so that's why she puts in a little bit of extra work at church and stuff like that. And then once we make out of the church, I am going to try and find Gisela,
who, based on what we're hearing, was casting spells
pretty easy to find.
And watching.
Should
pretty
be
easy to find.
Not hard to find, yeah.
So I think I am probably just beside you all of a sudden while you're focused
Also,
on your magic.
Yes, definitely jumping because I'm not seeing well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Minus two.
The real life things, yeah.
Having fun.
Hi.
Hello. Do you ride horses?
I mean, I can.
Yeah, I would say most everybody, that's adult has at least been on a horse.
If we have a horse.
No, that's true. Yeah, probably.
I've got a few extra pennies I can probably throw towards the stable hands up at Enright's mansion. If you wanted to go riding with me, I thought I might try and find these monsters of yours. Or at least show you what they're not.
Okay. When? Later today?
I mean,
I'm free.
obviously I'll need to change. It's like fancy fucking dress.
Mm-hmm.
Or as fancy as,
Sure.
fucking Runaway has. But yeah, after lunch or whatever.
Sure. We can meet back here at 2
walk up
or
there
whatever.
together.
I don't know.
Yeah. Sounds great.
How about 1? We'll make this conveniently parallel.
Oh no, it's more that I'm spending 2 hours.
Oh, sure, but it's, it's early. Because, mass starts at 7? Maybe earlier?
I don't know at the time.
And I'm just, I didn't figure this is too weird for us to have, to do something. I don't think we have before, but I don't think it's weird for us to do something together because there's not that many unmarried women in our sort of age range, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, no. Legitimately, like the cabal of you, Cloak is the weird one in that friend group.
Right.
You know, but the three of you being of, you know, close-ish age.
Right.
You know, Theo obviously I mean, the three of you together is still a very weird Venn diagram.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah.
Like, Isabel's at the point where she probably should have been married by this point, and there's probably some people that have questions about that.
I mean, Anastasia is all over it. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, I have
Go get
multiple
you married.
nephews I can introduce you to. Like, what type do you like? They're all dark haired, but otherwise, I have.
Have your pick.
And they're all dark haired, but I can fix that if you really want.
But yeah,
me.
we can make plans to meet back up and go horse riding.
Sounds good.
And the pennies for the stable hands would be for.
Like, if I just need to pay off a favor or whatever.
Okay. Because I'm pretty sure that Gisela would not necessarily own a horse herself, but between
Right.
the family or the
I
general
feel like
store
we have
have one.
a family horse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to low-key bribe one of the people up at the mansion to let us borrow one.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm just saying not necessarily necessary, but if it's what,
Oh, sure.
you know, if it's what Isabel wants
I figured that was a sort of appropriate use of my, like, one dot cash thing that I have.
Oh, the resources? I got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's up to you.
I mean, if I don't have to, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely don't have
Okie dokie.
to.
Yeah, you can just, like, I imagine ours is more of a workhorse
Mhm.
for like a small. I mean, I guess garden. Garden sounds.
Yeah, small
Tiny,
little
but,
plot,
like,
but also carrying stuff, moving stuff.
Mhm.
And
But I mean, like,
if you do need
small,
to travel
a small
somewhere.
garden in this town is probably like an acre, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. So we'll jump back over to Theo and her wagon as Cloak arrives.
So, I guess at this point, I don't think she would. Yeah, so Catherine and Theo are there. Catherine's like dressed up in like a work dress, mic'd up a little bit because she's going to be going out into the prairie.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got her barrow. And, okay. Welcome back to the camp.
Thank you. Will your daughter be okay as we leave?
You see her kind of hitch a little bit? Yeah, Catherine will stay with her.
Okay.
I think Catherine went from "this is weird" to "oh, he's going to go out instead of me." Nah, this is terrific.
Yeah, no problem. And they head out, and just I guess out of character wise, there's not a lot of wood around. There's not a lot of trees, so like a lot of the firewood that people were using is actually like dung.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that Theo does to make ends meet. Is goes collects all the dung she can find from animals, buffalo herds or whatever.
Makes sense to me. Gotta get those cow patties and horse apples.
That's right. And bear pies and all that, whatever we can find. You volunteered to come along awfully quickly. Was there something specific?
Yes. You seem preoccupied with your daughter.
I'm very protective.
Let's be honest, most mothers. But yeah.
I guess Cloak could have said it more directly and explicitly.
Yeah, but like there's emphasis, like, and you get the feeling like it's more than just a normal motherhood thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's had a very hard life so far.
Children can have hard lives. It seems like you have had a hard life too. How has hers been different?
I don't know that I'm ready for that level of sharing just yet.
Okay, well, when you are, I might be able to help her, whatever it is.
And you see her kind of twinge again, like she Like he knows stuff that he shouldn't know.
Cloak is observing Theo and pauses for a moment and says, I know that Isabel reacts more strongly than the rest of you. However, I did make a point before that I know that people like yourself like to keep their secrets. I think that secrets can be a tremendous distraction, especially when we are trying to grow and leave behind our fears and limitations. So I recognize that I am encroaching and grating on your boundaries. I will likely not stop doing so. However, I will say this, that my intentions are exclusively well-meaning. I believe I have a responsibility to help, and I think meeting you has allowed me to learn who I am supposed to help primarily.
Theo stops and just looks for a few seconds. And then starts to unbutton her dress. Just a top few buttons. And pulls it open, and you see on just left of the sternum, there's a large wound, well healed.
Mm-hmm.
Her hard life again, very young. She saw me die.
My gosh.
And then at her time, I wasn't dead anymore.
You came back.
It's hard to explain, like I was in a dream or heaven or hell.
I was just say, I don't know that one goes across as heaven ever.
Ghosts and spirits, and there was the lead tower. And for reasons I can't really explain, when I felt compelled to write my name in this book that I found inside the and when I wrote my name, I just came back. Everything was already done. And Velogia was the only one that lived. She hasn't spoken since that day.
When you say she was the only one who lived, everyone else died. Who were those people?
My husband.
I'm sorry, Theo.
I know I should probably feel different about it. But what happened to me made me realize that life and death is just a transition. Change of state. They're not gone, they're just on a different path now.
They're with Bondier. With God.
Perhaps. So I don't have a lot of, emotional pain about that event. It sounds fairly cold when I say it.
It sounds honest.
But I know that whatever happened to Velogia, she's been, it's hurt her. I've been trying to find a way to help her. I haven't been able to. I mean, she's a kid. She helps.
She does not speak
Does not.
out loud.
Well, I can't hear her otherwise.
Would you like help with that?
Very much so, but I'm also afraid you have and I mean to disrespect, have a frightening ability, and you're afraid to use it, and I worry about what that might do to her. You would be doing things that if something goes wrong, I can't help her. I can't protect her, and she would be wholly in your power. You can understand how that would be a little frightening.
Yes.
For a child who's already been through so much.
Then there may be an alternate way, because you and I might not be thinking of the same thing.
Okay.
In Vardo, we believe that the dreams connect us to God. And they are a way by which we can understand what our Medtet wants for us and what we are meant to do in life. I believe I was meant to form connections and to help people transcend boundaries and overcome their limitations. And as I said earlier, meeting you has confirmed that belief and given me a more specific understanding of it. I believe I could help you enter her dreams just as much as I could help you hear her thoughts while she is awake. And if you are to enter her dreams, she is more likely to have control over them than you would, because her Medtet is there to protect her and to make sure that her life is one that she can live and is devoted to the teachings and blessings of God. You may be able to talk to her in her dreams, because her dreams, well, for most of us, our dreams and the interior of our mind is a place where we feel safe, even if we also feel afraid, because we have places we can retreat to that keep us safe.
I'll be honest, I don't understand most of what you're saying, but it sounds intriguing. Is it possible to do demonstration first, not involved?
Yes. Yes. In whatever version you'd like. I can help you learn to meditate, and I could enter your mind and dreams. You can go to sleep. I can enter your dreams. We can together enter Catherine's dreams. We can enter Gisela or Isabel's dreams. Whatever you like. I imagine that we'd, of course, want Isabel and Gisela's consent. And I'm not suggesting that that would be in any way helpful for Veloja. I just mean that there are lots of ways that we can do this. The easiest way would be for us to go to the mind. And when you meditate into a state of calm serenity, I can enter your mind, and we can explore what that is like together.
You've invited us to the mind before. So, sure.
Great. We can go when you want to. Sunday is a good day because there is no work.
No work in the mines. Meanwhile,
Yes, that's what I mean. But
okay.
I will also say this. I appreciate you for accepting my invitation. I know that people are suspicious. I think that allowing me the opportunity to help you can help me convince others that I don't mean them harm unless they mean it to me.
I'll admit that your directness and openness is a little off-putting, but also in a way refreshing. I find myself driving. Well, thank you for the offer. Is this more of a nighttime activity? I assume sleeping.
I consider it to be good to do it at the turn of day, either at sunrise or at moonrise. The mines are always quiet, and they always have the same temperature. So the conditions are great for meditation, unless you are afraid of the dark.
No.
But that's something I can teach you to overcome.
Moro's in the dark. No, it's gonna be fine.
Yes, all good. All right. How about this evening? If otherwise.
I am not. Or no. When she says that, he says, I am now with you.
All right.
And as you guys carry on picking up poop, we cut to, I imagine...
We are poopsmiths now.
we cut to Isabel and Gisela, I imagine already, unless you guys have a reason not to be.
Riding out,
Yeah.
And headed in any particular direction?
Into the hills?
Just kind of beeline away from town?
Off, yeah.
Cool. As you guys are kind of getting out a little ways, because I imagine that Purgatory Bluff, again, I need to draw a map at some point, is kind of built on a bit of a slant. There's some bluffs, obviously, that kind of look over the river, but once you get up towards the mine past Enright's place, that's where you get the big wide spread of Colorado plains. And for most people's thinking, as soon as you pass Enright's house and the mines and get out to basically what is his land, but it's not like he's got it fenced. It just, he owns it. That's out of town. That's beyond civilization. And that's also where lots of folks go riding, just because it's wide, it's open, it's not very rocky. It's a good...
I mean, I imagine people go hunting and stuff out that way.
Absolutely.
Like
it is known, though not seen by any of our newcomers, but Gisela would know, yes, it is used by hunting, including by the Native Americans who come through here. So it is definitely one of those, because they move in, it's Apache Indians.
Nomadic.
Yeah, so they move in migratory patterns and stuff like that. But it's definitely one of those, you come up over the ridge, you give a good look, okay, yeah, and then right out. And that good, look gives also a view of a storm on the horizon. It's coming this way, but it's a ways off. It's hours, but it's definitely close enough that you can see it. Especially getting up there, you get the wind coming in, the little bit of rain on the air. It's like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a big storm, and kind of note that to the side of we do not want to get caught out in it. So kind of make mental notes. Normal people don't want to get caught out in it, Chris.
Somebody might have an aspiration.
Yes. Man, just put it blatantly obvious there. Jeez. Yes. I did mean to ask, is that an Isabel aspiration or is that a Chris aspiration? Isabel aspiration. Cool. So yeah, but nice wide open space, and of course you are here near the ridge as well, and you can see now, after it took you guys a little bit, that there are the big structures, these big frames, some wooden supports and stuff like that, and a smooth out set of boards and planks that have been nailed down and kind of made a level platform to put the telescope on. The telescope is not here, but it's where it was set up. And so it's yes. And for Ash, Gisela's yep, nope, that's the spot. Nothing weird there, but apparently, yeah.
The right time, probably in the sky.
Right.
We'll see. I did have some thoughts on hunting. Like, I don't know what is really done here. I gave Gisela a specialization in survival hunting.
Uh-huh.
But she doesn't have any, like, firearms. So in my head, I was thinking, like, snares and traps. But
Snares,
then, like,
traps?
if you snare a rabbit, you've just fed a coyote.
Yes, but also slings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you set a lot of them up, right? Some of them will be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I did
Yeah.
love the idea of just, like, going through and getting your hairs out of the snares that you set.
So a lot of people do it. You set up a
Mhm.
snare line or a few all over the place, and maybe a coyote takes a couple of them, but you have them in different places.
We
But
can go do
If
that
you,
while we're out
like,
here.
if you straight up like tell
Yeah.
Isabel that this is what you're doing, oh, she's okay, sure,
Yeah.
that's great.
It's like, while we're riding, we
It's been,
can check
it's been
my
a while
traps.
since I got to do any.
Hunting?
It's been a while since I got dirty.
Well, I mean, it's not that pretty. They're dead.
Nah, there's a bit of butchery that's involved.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But that's,
Anyways,
I don't know. To my mind, that's not
Mhm.
so
messy.
would you describe again these things that your family supposedly sees?
According to them, they're like, I know, all I can think are gremlins, like bad little creatures that are around to ruin things.
And do you
You can
describe
see
them?
them.
Do you describe them like heavily on like the German? Of course, obviously not
Mhm.
German, but mythology kind of vibe.
Yeah, I'm seeing like little things that you can see out of the corner of your eye sometimes. If you go looking for them, you won't see them, but they're there.
Okay. And I'll like reach down and Signs of Sorcery has element connected to Thyrsus, which is earth.
Oh, yeah.
And like for Exorcist's Eye, like connecting to the earth as a yantra would like essentially like blowing a handful of earth like across Gisela and then spreading it on like my face or whatever. Does that sound appropriate?
Heck yeah. Yeah, because you're
Cool.
talking about the expanded yantras.
So it's good stuff. Page 47.
Thank you. I was
You're
going the
welcome.
wrong direction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's oddly further in than you'd think.
But yeah, lots of cool little classic tools that I definitely feel, especially this being 1846. Heck yeah.
That was so,
Yeah.
so perfect.
I tried to find
Cool.
a copy of that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't
We
have
can-
it on this computer.
we can,
Signs of
um,
Sorcery? Yeah, I can fix that
Yeah.
up right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
But go
We
ahead,
could-
Chris.
You can probably clip that
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. Put it in
that
the
tool
chat.
or clip that whole table is the word. And put it in as a
Oh,
note
yeah.
in the game.
Put it in roll 20. That's a good
Mhm.
point.
Anyways, so that and then my my flute.
Mhm.
One over each. Can roll it.
All right. And then the reach is going to be instant, duration, and
Scale and duration.
Scale. Sure.
So yeah, I like pretty much just blow a handful of dirt in your face and then play a song for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And
What?
It's fine. And then you'll be fine. It's fine. You're not gonna freak out, okay?
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Famous last words. Hey, 3 successes.
I had 0 successes on 14 dice the other night, so
Jesus.
Ooh,
It was rough.
We may have brought that up at the Gehenna Gaming stream.
Cursed.
Man.
All right.
That's actually impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Statistically,
that's-
pretty fucking unlikely. All right. So, enjoy being able to see spirits.
Okay. What are the ones that are out and about here now? Like, I know we're not seeing the river, right?
Yeah, no, you would be pointing away from the river. So here you definitely have like, bust out America the Beautiful. We've got the grass,
Shoots of the
Amber waves of
grain.
grain.
Yeah.
yeah, we've got hills. Here near you, depending on how far you guys have gotten out. Small rock spirits and stuff like that. Lots of moats, basically, but out like this large, wide prairie, grazing area is pretty heavy. And there are, I don't think many, but there is still probably the like spirit of cattle that moves around with and writes actual cattle, because he still has some. And then, in the distance, a face in the clouds. No, not actually. Sorry. But yeah, no, there is definitely,
But it could be, though.
there is definitely a spirit in that storm, which probably for Isabel's probably the first time she's seen, one, because all the other spirits are, things that are here, either emotions that are kind of that linger on people, or long-term things like dirt and earth and trees and cattle. But a storm, when would you see one of those other than a storm?
During a storm.
Okay, so you seem surprised. I don't like that you seem surprised.
I mean, we're all new to these things, right?
I mean, yes.
But it makes sense that something with the power of the earth behind it, since that is what my magic is, what these spirits are. They are the reflection of the earth and its creatures under God's eye. They are that something as powerful as a storm would have a powerful reflection.
A curious question. Does Isabel think of these, just because you talked about, God's view of things, does she think of these as angels?
No.
She categorizes those as something.
And I haven't totally put in like exactly what her sort of justification, sort of dogmatic take would be, but very much like almost a leftovers of Eden or something like that. I think is the direction I take it.
So what did they do?
They hunt. They feast. As far as I can tell, there are groupings of them in much the same way that the wolf hunts the deer. The wolf spirit hunts the deer. The energy that comes across to them, I think, depends on our natural world. But they can reach back.
Actually, I would go so far because I'm reminded that we agreed that the spirit of your flute is rank 1. And so it's literally hanging around, probably because you just had it, you know. And so, yeah, there's some kind of silvery, especially with it being made of lunagent, this silvery moon.
It's Cassitarium.
Oh, right. Dang it.
It's tin.
Yeah, tin. So little less shiny.
And wood.
Yeah. Actually, I have the book here.
I was picturing sort of a sort of flowing metal vine or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially because
it's
it
like
is
wrapped around the flute and occasionally unwinds and ventures off a little bit, but it doesn't stray too far from its
Right.
home.
Yeah, because as
The resonance is there.
right, and notably, like spirits don't all fly. Unless it has a reason to fly,
Yeah.
it does not fly. So they're not floating little spren or other little.
I mean, some of them can
flittery
be
things, right? Ones of wind. Anyways, moving right along.
Okay. Does building things kill them? If they're the grass and the rocks. If you put a house here.
As far as I can tell, not quite. They can move about, right? As long as there is another place of energy that they can feed upon. Because even the spirits of the grain are hunters. Everything here is a predator. So as long as they still find a meal, they do not die. As long as they don't become one.
Are they dangerous to us? Could they hunt people?
I've not been harmed by them.
So, a quick little note that as I'm reviewing Cassiterum and the fact that it drains one essence per turn from any ephemeral being it touches. So I imagine that the flute spirit, probably doesn't ever actually touch your flute. I imagine it is like a constant companion to you, always clinging close to but never touching.
Oh yeah, I had forgotten about that.
Yep. Just to add to the tableau we have of the ladies on the horses and this thing that's probably always clinging onto Isabel, and she just has to kind of deal with it.
It's a companion. Totally not going to become familiar at some point. No way.
Nah.
A
fiercest with a familiar.
No, doesn't make sense. I gotta get a ghost familiar that I can't see or talk to.
Leave Craig alone.
Love you.
Okay, I'm going to point at the one that's different and clinging to you. What's this?
It
flute
looks up and goes, "Excuse me," which I imagine is coming across in. Well, yeah, because it would be in Spanish.
Well, maybe
because they speak the language that's local, and then they speak the first tongue.
Oh, first tongue, yeah.
Fair. So it would use Spanish.
Because that's where you got it, right?
Yep, and
she says, "Excuse you."
I mean, I know that.
Okay.
They can talk.
Of course they can.
Yes, I can talk.
They are thinking creatures.
This one normally isn't listening, though. Looking at Isabel.
I don't get that part. I don't know that much Spanish. I got walking around Spanish.
I give you as much attention as I can spare.
You could give more. You could play more. Why are we even here? There's nobody here to enjoy me. I'm going to attempt to be musical with this thing, but no promises.
Do you want to look at the storm?
Oh, hey, no. You're not taking me over there. Do you see how big that thing is?
Mm-hmm. Won't eat you.
It might.
You protect it?
Aren't you different?
I mean, yes. But do you see how big that is? That's an incarnate. Which I think that word, probably like doesn't translate very well to either of you.
What?
It's big. It's real big. Like, and I think it starts playing some music, and then, a little bit louder, a little bit louder, a little bit louder. It's way big.
Fortissimo.
Yes.
Crescendo. So the storm will eat your little guy?
I mean, it might. This is not a risk I'm willing to take.
That's what she's afraid of.
Do you have magic to help?
No.
Well, I think the storm is coming anyway.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that the spirit is within sensory range?
The storm?
The big one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. You've got the thunder rumble.
I'm not even going to roll it because there is zero chance I can get enough potency on this thing.
Sure. But I think that's
but no spirit that direction.
Yeah.
You can always roll that chance die.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can go up to -5
Uh-huh.
after yatra bonuses.
Because no spirit is resisted by rank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's potency. So you need a -4 on it. Oh,
-4? No.
You need -6.
-6, okay.
Yep. I always love that. One of the questions is, what is its rank? And it's like, well, if my potency got through, and you tell me how many questions I have, I can do some basic math.
And know not to waste one on this.
Oh, 3.
So you're rolling 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Fingers crossed. I can make this easier for you.
Hmm?
That'll be if you let me know what you're doing.
What do you have that can buff spellcasting rolls?
Exceptional luck can.
No. Not exactly. Oh wait, no.
It can.
Yeah,
it can.
reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can give somebody a boon or 8 again, whatever you want.
You dealing
Fates.
probabilities, right?
Pulling strings.
Chance you could lend me some luck on this one?
I can try. So it is +2 reach to do that.
Mm-hmm. Right, and so you can give the 9 again or 8 again quality.
Oh, I already have 9 again.
You can give a bonus as well as the 9 again.
Talking about the bonus quality. On potency equal to blah blah blah. Yeah, we can talk about it off camera, but for now, I literally I added Dave B about this one. This is one depending on how you read it, and after
Potency bonus to potency
10
number of spell
potency
casting
exceptional
rolls.
luck
Yeah.
plus 10 spell. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
which there is at least so much as okay, well, you technically have to spend a mana to make it go above 5, which is not a.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
If you already have 9 again, I would need to have 4 reach to try this.
Oof. Yeah. Probably.
Because you
not.
have to add +1 to make it an 8 again. And then it's already +2.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 to do it instantly.
Yep.
Which, I mean, I could try.
It's a bunch of Paradox, but
Sure.
Paradox is really not that scary.
I have
Not
less
a
than 8.
Gnosis one.
Yeah, I'll try it, sure. I'm overreaching by 3 then. Because I only have 1.
Are you spending any mana on it?
I still have not very much, because I've done nothing to regain.
I know. You guys are going to have to discover Scouring soon.
Yeah, I'll spend 1.
Okay, we'll make it down to
So,
2.
2.
haven't
Who's gonna
spent
do
any
that
yet.
first?
Yantras. Affecting probabilities, I have coins.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give it a willpower.
Cool. 6, 7?
7.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, really? Okay.
Damn.
We tried.
Nope. It's not clicking.
I understand.
Maybe try smaller next time.
I'll stare off into the distance and hold up my flute.
As a spirit, which we're gonna have to figure out a name for, kind of yammers a little bit. Whoa! Hey, don't know. We do not need its attention over here.
Hell yeah, one
Nice.
success.
Cool. So I will give you that it is rank 4, just because
So
you
I
got
get 1.
one question. Yep. Good call. Good call, Ralph. It's not actually that.
Could push it.
Yep.
Got a chance. You should call the Viney spirit Wendell.
We are not calling it
No.
Wendell.
We're not.
Vines.
We're not paying royalties for this.
I am not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll
if Brandon
text
Sanderson
Anderson.
comes by and says that he
Right.
likes the show and
I'll
approves
text
of us
him.
calling it Wendell, then fine.
Uh-huh.
But until
I'll text
then,
Call it Indleway. Big Latin. Fine.
What is the spirit's name?
I really should have been prepped for that.
Yeah, probably should have done that one.
Will your little one be safe inside a building when the storm comes?
I mean, it seems like it's awfully high up, and it should be feeding on the storm itself. That is where its food source would be.
Have you seen how magnificent I am?
In a booming voice, the storm spirit says, "Hello, child of honor."
All right, we got to drop the fucking Stormlight
Yeah.
references.
We will
All
get
right,
sued. But no, the spirit's name is. Let's pick one I can pronounce a little bit more regularly. Alfoth. I will copy paste. Don't worry, kids. Actually, I'll go put this in Roll20 so everybody can see.
Cool.
And I'll
And
just sort
It
of
probably gives
say that.
itself a bunch of titles as well, but its
Mhm.
name is Alfoth.
Mm-hmm. Its name is Alfoth. His name.
Does knowing the names help? Do their
Does
names have
knowing-
power over them?
Nothing like that. But is it helpful to know the name of someone in town if you wish to speak with them?
Yes.
Hey, hang on. Hey, I was just discussing. You will leave me in your saddlebags, and you will let this nice lady take the horse back.
I'm not staying out here alone.
You're not leaving me out here.
You'll be fine.
There are other. Look at all these other little things to eat.
Do any of them look nearly as magnificent as me?
And I just imagine the storm spirit going along like a thresher, just sucking up everything.
What does spirit chaff look
out
like?
Out of character, there is the whole, like, they don't eat things outside of their choir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100% Ganem is the center of attention, and, like, that's all that matters. Actually, to clarify, just because the whole reason I picked this name, Fantasy Name Generator gave me a bunch of names, and Ganem the Feisty, and I was like, yep, okay, that's it.
Cool. I like it.
Like Ganem.
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 I guess I should have told you. This is Ganem. Ganem. This is Gisela. She likely won't see you that frequently, but
Why not?
she
These aren't
doesn't-
what I see.
she doesn't do what I do.
But why
Oh,
not?
I'm not answering your spirit.
She wasn't blessed in the same way that I was.
Oh, the poor thing. Is it broken?
She does sometimes seem a little broken, yes.
I'm getting none of those.
Yep. and like I totally like sped up that sentence as fast as possible.
Like I'm hearing your little guy going, okay.
Yep.
Yes. Oh. Right. So you guys have been sitting up top watching for a bit. Have you guys actually moved out into the grass and like?
Yeah, I figured we were talking as we were.
Yeah, I want to go
riding
along and
doing things. Yeah, we got to get
check
these
the snares.
rabbits and stuff
If nothing else, the storm is coming, so you might as well because
because
Cool.
they won't be here after that.
Get a belt full of rabbits
Mhm.
strung up.
Do you want to roll for that or cast
For hunting?
magic to? Yeah.
I mean, I'll roll for it. We're a survival.
Good luck finding it.
I think
On our
this would be
janky ass
wits.
fucking sheet.
Yes, with survival with a specialization. So
Mhm.
that gives me what again?
Bonus.
I forgot.
Bonus 1.
+1.
+1.
Yeah.
Rolling 7 dice on that.
So yeah, cruising around, definitely finding, this one here, that one there. Taking a moment as you guys are talking, and Ganem is being a asshole.
A dork.
And doing some quick, not total butchery, but enough to slit throats, I guess, or whatever's necessary for the immediate.
Right.
As the storm continues to roll closer.
And I'm just getting like quieter and quieter as the storm gets closer.
I'm just like periodically looking up.
Yeah.
You sure
And-
it's not dangerous?
I mean, the storm, I don't know, we'd probably, not going to be pleasant to be in.
Yeah, which I do think, at this point, like, especially this close and getting those first front rows of, clouds.
Blasts of
You
wind
can
and
see
stuff.
the spirit moving through, and it is at this distance. Like before, it was like, it's a storm spirit. This a little bit closer. No, this is like raw lightning spirit that is moving through this thing. And so
that's even cooler.
you watch the the flash of lightning, the thunder that rumbles through, and then this very like whip crack snake of lightning that is not like, lightning just kind of flashes in a spot or, comes down. This thing is moving, dancing. Yeah. And just like, yeah, you can kind of get where, Ganem is coming from, but this thing is bossy.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to study it with my magic eyes.
I feel like Ash is looking for a spell to help this, or
I'm reading the tools.
Yeah, I apologize. I put those in there like 20 minutes ago, and then I realized that I had them set to GM only, so nobody else could see them. It's very useful. And while Ash is figuring out what spell she's going to cast, we're going to jump over to Theo and Cloak. Hey, I got the names right.
There you
So
go.
where do we pick up with you guys?
I'm guessing it's raining.
Yeah, actually, that's true because at this point it's going to be. Yeah, I guess we're jumping out of time frames here. So
Yeah, because we weren't going to see each other again until
moonrise,
till evening, duskish. So
cool. But yeah, it is definitely not a torrential. Oh my gosh, batten down the hatches kind of rain, but you've probably got some I guess you'd probably have a treated bit of like leather overcoat kind of thing, or yeah.
Well, leather slicker, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Theo shows up in the pouring rain.
Great. Cloak is standing outside the mine.
Mud boots, and then the bottom 6 inches of her dress is all mud. She's got like an oil slicker poncho over her head.
Gotcha.
And comes in, shows up at the mine, and is there a lantern on or something to show the way?
There are lanterns.
Well, the way.
Go ahead, Drew.
I was to say the way up is pretty easy to follow. There is a well beaten path up there, and I imagine that the barracks has some lights inside and out, which is right next to mine.
The Cloak has lanterns lit at the entrance to the mine, and he is standing out in the rain, without his tunic on, just his pants and no duster. And he's looking up into the sky with his eyes closed.
Does it look like Cloak is trying to enjoy the rain, or is this just like a premeditative thing? Or
yeah, he doesn't look like he's in a state of rapture, but it's definitely deliberate, right? He seems like in a state of calm, and it doesn't seem like he's uncomfortable.
She's not out with a lantern or anything, despite the late hour.
Mm-hmm.
And heads up to the mine entrance.
Okay.
She gives you a nod as she walks past you to get out of the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, Catherine told me to tell you that if I catch pneumonia coming out to meet a strange man in the dark, that she'll be having words with me.
Cloak
and takes off her slicker and gives it a good whack to get the water on it.
Looks at you and says, well, then that will happen if it does.
She doesn't know about this stuff.
Why not?
I've tried to tell her and tried to show her. Like it's like the knowledge can't stick.
Maybe you need to describe it in terms that make sense to her.
I do. I mean, my mother used to do seances, talk to spirits for people, and I used to do that too before all of that happened. But now it's different. So I still kind of phrase it in those terms, that I can talk to spirits, that kind of stuff. And that she seems to be able to. Yeah, but otherwise she seems to keep it.
That must be hard for you.
Eyes narrow a little bit, like She's not sure how much you know for context. It's it's hard not being able to share a big part of your life with somebody.
Indeed. Any barriers to intimacy make it challenging to be with someone.
Again, she kind of just sort of turns her head a little bit and winces. Are you just very perceptive, or
What do you mean? I am perceptive, but I don't know what you mean right now.
It's just disconcerting. A lot of people keep secrets because those secrets are vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
So to have someone expose them or come near to those vulnerabilities can be very often.
I understand that. One thing that I think I and the Maroons know is that when you keep a secret and you hide it, it becomes a burden that you must maintain. When you release it into the world, you can usurp the power that others have over you. I wear many of my supposed secrets on my flesh. I cannot hide who I am. I cannot hide my experiences. And therefore, no one can drudge it up from my past and shove it in my face as though they know something shameful that I'm trying to keep away from people. All I know is this. You share a carriage with Catherine, and you have lived a life of challenge. You have a daughter who does not talk, and you bear the wounds of your near death, actual death, resurrection. All of that is something that I imagine you wish you could talk to her about, talk to someone. And the person, the other adult who lives with you, is not someone who can remember the things that you tell her when you describe them to her as precisely as you'd like to. That's all I meant by it being challenging. However, your evasion and concern suggest that there might be something more that you assumed that I knew. If that's a secret you wish to keep.
You're way desynced.
Oh, really?
It's not a character. This is a little bit. This is so great because it's like this is like Holmes and Watson.
Yeah.
Or like Holmes shows Watson a pocket watch and Holmes completely dissects his entire life history from the pocket watch.
Yeah, I might need to start making Ralph roll some dice for some of these logical jumps.
The mud on your
really?
shoes means this.
You're fine.
All right. I mean, all I did was describe things in the open. So.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine.
Notice he didn't say anything about the relationship.
Right.
He did not say anything about the relationship, though.
Cloak's not making an assumption.
Fair.
That's what I'm trying to play it,
Oh no,
direct,
you're good.
right?
No, I'm just poking.
You're absolutely pushing boundaries. It's a very nice thing to do.
Off the tree.
Yeah, see how somebody reacts to what he says.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you hit something.
Yeah.
I find I'm beginning to understand a little more how you work.
Put things up front. When people are weak, they get afraid. And that shows you what they are protecting. And that might be something you can use. I'm not, again, attempting to manipulate you, though. However, I find that when we are confronted with something that scares us, even if someone doesn't intend to present that, it can make us really uncomfortable, and we therein reveal things we would have preferred not to. And so I prefer to be as direct as possible so that I am not leveraged into a position where I'm saying something that I don't want to. I just say the things I want to immediately.
I feel like this is akin to throwing a heavy stone into a pond and through watching the ripples map out the circumference of the water.
That's a good description. Another way to think about it is this. If everyone's chains are connected to the same piece of metal, and you hit the metal as hard as you can with a sledgehammer, the chains will rattle and you can hear them. And they will sound different based on the length of someone's arms and how long they've been attached.
Slightly more troubling, but I can see how.
Watch the ripples. Can sometimes be the easiest way to learn about someone.
I feel like every time I talk to myself, but less about
you. What would you like to know about me?
That's a large question with no simple answer. I feel like you're very open and honest, but you also set people on their back foot so that they don't do a lot of probing because they're busy mustering their defenses, marshaling their mental resources, withstand the assault is too strong a word.
The sledgehammer.
To withstand the probing, so they don't have the thought to spend to thinking about you.
I think that is an accurate observation. I am generally not trying to put someone in a state of unease. However, I am quite willing to take advantage of that when it is useful to me. I and the other Maroons practice something called the lutte sénégalaise. It's a form of traditional wrestling. And one thing we teach, one thing we practice is that the first hold, the first slam, the first throw can determine the course of the match. And so there is a tremendous amount of ferocity in the way in which we practice, because the outcome will be best for everyone involved. If someone is stronger, if they're likely to win. If you slam someone and knock the wind out of them immediately, then they're likely not going to put up a fight that results in you forcing a joint lock or hurting them severely. You just precipitate that which was already going to happen, but with the least harm and the least effort.
True. I would suggest to you that the two combatants sitting in contest are aware of the customs around and are prepared. I suspect that if you were to do the same thing to somebody just passing by on the street, the repercussions for that ferocious attack might be longer lasting and have a deeper. It's one thing to wrestle somebody who's ready for the match. It's quite another to assault somebody.
That's true.
I don't say that as a criticism. Just pointing out perspective on imagery.
I think that's helpful, and hence why you haven't seen me wrestle anyone in town. But in the event that someone were to say,
physically,
well, therein lies an interesting point. Throughout life, we are wrestling with each other all the time. We are wrestling with ourselves. We're wrestling with the expectations of God. And we expend way too much effort trying to protect ourselves and trying to stay fast to that which chains us to our pasts and chains us to our limitations. I think people are in a better position to prepare for an assault in the same way that a trained wrestler might act on instinct when someone engages them unexpectedly. So perhaps, yes, when I am wrestling with someone through words or mind, I might be catching them off guard, and they might not be prepared for it. But that is their fault, not mine. Life is one of duress and challenge, and we only move forward by overcoming it.
Can't argue with that. I came here tonight to delve into my in the hopes of not contracting them. Perhaps we should begin.
Let's. I believe the rain has cleansed me, so let's proceed into the interior so that we can then cleanse you.
Very well. She'll let
So yeah, cool. Let's go
Sure.
into an area that Cloak and the Maroons have at this point designated for their breaks and meditation. It's like nicely swept and cleaned to a certain extent. Like I imagine they found an area, like a flat area of rock or stone that's reasonably polished, and then they've done what they
at
can.
That point, yeah,
or made it, yeah. Just so everyone can sit around a big circle and say, you know, how large it would be to accommodate 30 people. But minds are tight, so wherever they were able to find a good space in which they could all be and all sit in a circle. So Cloak has a few things. He has some like rough hewn towels. He has a basin of water. He has like some thick leather that's folded upon itself that looks like it might be a pillow or a platform. And then he has some heavily worked chain, strong chain, iron chain. So he brings Theo over and he says, we believe that there is virtue in entering into a state of calm by first trying to bring your body into a state of calm. So meditation is a combination of those two things, mental and physical calm. The first thing that you can do to guide your body into a state of calm is to clean it. So I have some water and I have some towels, and I invite you to clean yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay. I invite you to clean yourself in the way that makes sense to you for the moment. I'm not suggesting you bathe. The act itself is what matters the most. An ablution is an honorary thing to do. It is a ceremonial thing to do. That's why I was standing in the rain.
So Theo will head over and just moisten one of the towels and rub her face, get the back of her neck, and cleanse off her.
The next thing, that he points to the leather wrap bundle, and he says, some people prefer to sit when they meditate. Others prefer to lay down. Which do you prefer?
Having never done it before.
Well, then, one way to ask... well, then I'll ask a different question. Do you feel that you have more control over your thoughts when you are in a seated position of control or a relaxed, supine position?
Lying down.
Then please lie and keep your head well supported.
Right. Yeah, so not too worried about the dress. It's already mud 6 inches up.
So then he goes and he grabs the chain and he wraps it around his right forearm and then leaves a length and sits down kneeling behind, which at this point you probably noticed that Cloak's pants are like hiked up above his knees, and he has really thick calluses below his knees and on his shins. So there are scars there as well, clearly from being struck in different ways, but also calluses that look like he kneels often. So he kneels behind you, and he asks you, he says, please hold the chain in your hands.
He does so.
And place it over your chest.
He does so.
Then he kneels
Very much
behind
in
her.
in that pose. Yeah.
Perfect.
Like rosary almost.
No, like could be in a pine box sort of pose.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. This is the Moros, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they're not very far apart, honestly. But
So then he kneels down behind Theo and says, I'm now going to place my hands on the side of your face. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
So with the chain wrapped around his forearm, it in Theo's hands and Cloak kneeling behind her, he places his hands on the side of her face and he says, I want you to focus on two things. And that may seem a strange thing to suggest, but you'll understand when I ask this. I want you to focus on the most positive memory you have that was a result of your own actions towards yourself. And I want you to focus on the biggest regret of your life that was a consequence of you not serving yourself well. And I want you to, after you have brought those things together, recognize the aspects of yourself that were present in both situations.
This is going to be rough.
Yes. The first time is, but afterwards, it likely won't. It gets easier.
Okay.
All right. And please close your eyes and bring those aspects into yourself, because those have always been with you, and those will lead you out of the regret and back towards the hope.
All right.
Cool.
I think this is where you roll resolve plus composure.
Yep.
And this will probably be with the +3.
Cool. I was hoping that the circumstances would make it easier.
Yep. If a yoga mat gives a +1, yeah, I think all this is gonna cover it.
Sweet.
Nice.
There it goes.
All right.
Oh yeah, 4 successes.
Hell yeah.
Now, obviously, because we are not in a domain or hallow or anything like that, there's no accidentally tripping into the Oneros.
Yeah.
But
that's where dream reaching comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see something. All right. I think, is that what we're going to cast?
What are you casting?
So I want to cast an improvised spell. Cloak's going to need to meditate as well, of course. And so there are 2 ways to go about it. So I'd like to briefly discuss this out of character. So what Cloak was imagining is that, hey, if we bring Lodra into a state of serenity, like meditation or calm, then we can just go into her Aneros and see what's going on, right? Of course, that's not how Cloak is thinking of it. Cloak is thinking he's going to talk to her met-tet, it's like Vodou teaching is how it functions, right? It's like, all right, what's going on with this person? This person can't tell me. I'll talk to the Lua who's responsible for them. So Cloak wants to talk to their daemon, right? That's what I'm saying out of character.
Right.
And so there are a couple of ways that I imagine we could do this, and Cloak thinks so. If somebody's asleep, we'll do dream reaching and try and reach them that way, go into their neostat way, or the dream, or whatever's happening there. Because they don't have a soul stone, I can't meditate into the astral directly, but I can witness people's dreams. So with telepathy, what he's thinking is if meditating somehow, he could perhaps get into Theo's mind and talk to her daemon.
Okay. So I will go ahead and tell you flat out, not going to be able to get into the Oneros through these methods. For me, mine too stops at like the dream level. Once we get into mine 3, where we can both summon Goche, but also I'm 90% sure.
Weaving.
Yeah, thank you. That's the term I was looking for. To enable you to have that pathway in. Now that said, I do think that like from the dreams, there's still plenty to gain and stuff like that. And in my head, I do see the daemon showing up in dreams, but it's not nearly the same, kind of vibe. There it's, your daemon is, an aspect, it's your Jiminy Crickets, your conscience feeding and messing with dreams to try and drive you places. But it's not nearly as direct as if you were in the Oneros, where you would speak with somebody's daemon.
Perfect. That description is fine because, that's how Cloak and, he thinks of it as that the meta is trying to tell you what to do, but the meta doesn't control you, right? The meta is trying to guide you.
Right.
So if there is the guidance aspect in the dreams, that's totally cool. And so, if you go to sleep while you're meditating, right, then you can enter your own dreams, or rather as mages, sorry. So that's relevant for Theo. And then, I'm happy to cast an improvised spell, which would be just a practice of ruling to, in effect, accomplish something like the dream reaching rote. But, I don't have any rotes, right? So this is creative thaumaturgy. So let's see. Yeah, and I want to be an active participant. So Cloak is going to roll first to meditate, and then he's going to roll dream reaching. Does that sound good?
Cool. Yep.
Cool. All right. Cool. Let's do it.
And obviously no withstand because, as far as I can see, Theo seems on board with this.
Yeah. Great. All right. Let's roll that meditation roll.
Now for you, I think it'll be resolve plus well, do you have some bonuses from meditative mind? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. From meditating in the morning, I have a bonus of +3 to all resolve composure rolls for the day. And then, if circumstances benefit, then that would also add on.
I think for him, it's just a +1.
Cool.
She
Makes
got
sense.
the bonus because she had a guide. He is doing it by himself.
That makes complete sense to me.
Still ends up being a +4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's fine.
Exceptional success takes you
yeah.
seconds to settle into a meditative place.
Great.
And
what about condition?
Yeah, what kind of condition would you get from this? I think I will give you the informed condition on Theo's dreams, effectively.
Oh, cool. Great. Thank you.
In interpreting them and such.
All right.
Now, that said, whatever your interpretations are need to match with what, Craig thinks Theo is dreaming about. But
of course. Yeah, that makes complete sense to me. Great.
Do real life mind reading.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Time to knock up the spell. Dang it. Where's my spell template? Okay, here we go.
Chris, your mic is doing a thing.
I need duration and extra reach and instant cast. Because we don't want to be, could be here for 3 hours.
Yeah, just 3.
Okay, cool. Reach, got 2. 2. Don't need increased potency. Oh, duration. Okay. Bonus from yantras. So, the Ason, and then the chain.
Mm-hmm.
So the chain would be another path tool. So that would be a bonus to 2. And then, of course, Cloak is going to spend willpower. So I think it's going to be 8.
All right, cool. So I will throw a paradox die at that.
Cool.
Roll your wisdom.
Alrighty, great.
One of these days, you guys are going to actually have to deal with an active hubris for using magic for, casual things.
Yeah.
We ain't there yet, though.
We haven't learned that that's bad yet.
5, 8.
Ah, crud.
Oh,
Sorry.
slash.
Yeah, you can just do spell roll 8.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. Cool.
So 1 bashing wound, no big deal. And then
All right.
Oh, actually, another 8 for the actual spell cast.
Yep.
And as you cast this, Craig, is Theo actually withstanding this or not?
No.
Okay.
Thinks about it a moment, but no.
Well, and
more
for me
from
specifically, it's a subconscious thing,
Yeah.
So she may say that she's totally on board for this, but is she really?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Like a conscious tamping down of the reflex.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You both slide into, basically Theo's active waking dreams, and we'll put a pin in that while Craig, you can think about what Theo's dreaming about. We cut back to earlier that evening as the storm rolls in. Ash, you were picking out a spell. Was that the condition thing you were asking me about?
Yeah, I don't think I have one that'll really help. Like, I can give conditions, I can give bonuses to spellcasting and skill rolls, but I don't think Scrutinize falls under any of those things.
Not quite. Though that may also be because I know you were interested in looking into Prime. So this might be one of the things where she goes, I can't do this with Fate. What could I do this with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I could... I don't know, it doesn't really help with this, but like, I feel like serendipity is useful. So like, this will give you a glimpse of what you need to do to get what you want.
It's a very good one. The other one is, Craig's favorite, Fools Rush In.
Does that work for scrutiny?
It would not necessarily give bonuses to scrutiny.
It might help for, say, riding a horse through a thunderstorm, though.
That, dodging lightning. You don't dodge lightning.
You don't dodge lightning.
You just pray.
I mean, just a general
correction.
spell.
If you dodge it 200 times in a row, you get a special weapon.
I gave up at like 10. I did not have that kind of time. If you don't know what we're talking about, come by Discord and ask us about dodging lightning, and I'm sure there will be a bunch of us who have horror stories.
That game came out before some of our viewers were born.
A thing we don't talk about.
Yeah, I guess I'll throw that on us as we're about to stand out in the middle of a storm on a plane.
On a plane with no trees and there's lightning up there? Yes.
Cool.
And specifically, Isabel is saying, hey, I'm going to go talk to that lightning dragon thing up there.
Its primary factor is duration, so it's going to...
If you do advanced duration, you will automatically have it for the full day.
Okay, so I need instant duration scale.
Mm-hmm.
And... yeah. So I'm overreaching by 2. Or no, overreaching by 1?
You have 1 free.
Okay, yeah.
So you're overreaching by how much?
By 2.
Okay. You just gotta leave that be?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is a yantra for this?
You could do mirror because you are a subject in this. You could also do cup for something that's being shared between you all.
I'm trying to think what I have on me that would work for this.
Literally the
Air as a
breeze
yantra
around us
seems
pushing us into the.
weird to me, but
I mean, the air at your back, like the wind at your back, pushing you into a situation.
Mhm.
yeah. I feel like that
It's just a +1.
is
It's- I
most
mean,
applicable here.
Yep. Cool.
Another willpower.
So yeah, grand total. Oh wait, no. First do the 8
Oh, I need
for
to
your
roll
wisdom. Yeah.
wisdom.
And then 3.
8 for the wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Is 1 success.
Cool. And then
So,
die pool
bashing
of 7.
damage.
Yeah. Which again only lasts 15 minutes, but well, actually at this point may actually matter. But
1 success.
cool, which is all you need. While this isn't the souped up version that Craig was always throwing around with the die bonuses, this has a very important thing that we're going to get into very quickly here. Because without, well, actually, I'll let Chris, I'll let you set the tone here of how you want to start this scrutiny. If you're going to try and like call out and, start a conversation and scrutinize, or, if you're just going to scrutinize at a distance, you let me know. But on the plus side, because of Fool's Rush In, your social, an unfamiliar social situation, which this definitely is, you gained a increased impression level by 1.
Nice.
So
By 1.
Yeah, I'm literally rushing in, like,
horseback.
yeah, kick the horse and like charge a storm, and calling out to it with fucking magic eyes all ablaze.
Cool.
I will yell out to your little friend if he wants to, or if she wants to hang back with me. That's cool.
I'm just imagining the first time you're talking to an elder dragon. The booming voice.
Something
Just get him. Like, do you want to?
Well, and here's the problem. I kind of need this thing, pointing to the flute. So no, but thanks.
Good luck.
Hide in my
Fading
shadow,
out.
then we ride, and just like.
Now that said, is Gisela kind of sticking close, turning back, hanging up on the ridge? What's Gisela's plan here?
I don't really want to run in to talk to the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be able to watch.
Mm-hmm. So hanging back, but
Hanging
not
back
like
a bit, yeah.
abandoning
No.
the field. Okay.
Not like leaving, but I don't want to be like beside you if it decides to lightning strike you.
Sure. Fair.
It's only 10 bashing damage. We'll be fine.
That'll be fine.
For the first lightning strike. Cool. So you are riding up to this storm, kind of up beneath, probably not the middle of it, because I don't think you're going to wait that long. But waiting until the front is kind of really reaching you guys, and yeah, you set the scene. What's this look like?
I'm just picturing just the entire, that darkness that rolls over as the cloud cover fully gets over top of you.
You get
In
that
those
cold
few moments.
downdraft.
Yeah, the downdraft and the breeze and everything, and that moment you have where you're about to get hit with that wall of water.
Right. Yeah. Then you've got the first couple little sprinkles that are already hitting, and then it hits you. Yeah.
And I shout out his name, Alfoth. I wish to know you.
There's a Zeus joke in here somewhere, but we're going to just
My
roll
brain
right
just
along.
said biblically.
No.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ed, for being there right with me. All right. Righto. I'm trying to figure out.
The only reason I'm speaking to you is because you aren't even worth the essence to destroy.
Right. Let's do. I can't remember. Well, actually, yeah, it's going to be more for Chris. Presence plus I'm
Socialize?
Socialize is okay. I was wondering if a cult would be a better thing.
I don't think so.
I think, yeah, if we do socialize, we're probably going to penalize just because, like, you don't know how to hang out with spirits. But it's not a big one. I think it's probably like, well, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. I think I'm just going to lump this in with Fools Rush In and call it just a clean presence plus socialize.
Cool.
How you doing there, Alfred baby? Hey, let's chat.
And
Yeah.
I think I'm like, I'm playing up the like gravitas of the way I'm speaking and everything like that to lean on the like storytelling specialty that I have.
Or even I'm cool with you. Well, you mean like you are playing it up as you're not telling a story, but you're playing up.
I mean, I have the fast talking jargon, so I'm justifying that through this thing that I just said.
No, that's fine. I'm more trying to the narrative side of it. Like I'm trying to figure out, is this like a performance that she's putting on, or she's like kind of drawing on stories of like, this is how, Greek heroes talk kind of thing.
More like how you speak with, and I mean, we said I don't think of them as angels, but I think the reverence and the faith is sort of pulling on that. So it's more like, you see a fucking burning bush, you're going to talk to it a little bit different.
Sure.
Than a regular bush.
Certainly she's going to talk to this giant lightning spirit differently than she would in a more poetic sense than she would to someone in town.
I like it. It makes a lot of sense.
I got you. So there's a lot about delivery. I got you.
Yeah. So presence, socialize. What's what?
Terrific.
3 successes.
So we were starting at hostile because who the fuck
That
are
was
you?
the step up.
Bump up 1 from Fools Rush In, which put us at average, and then I was doing 2 successes per level, so we're up to good.
Cool.
So we're at a we can talk level, and yeah, there is a peal. That's the word I was looking. Peal of thunder, another couple flashes of lightning, and then Ganem is just on the ground. There's no. It doesn't come down with lightning. It just is that fast, and you get the full. Oh, this is this enormous serpent. We're not like even leaning into like Eastern dragons with limbs and stuff like that. This is just this coiled, moving, lightning taken form serpent, and it is continually in motion, and it alternates between like this slithering motion through the air, and then sometimes its body just kind of flickers and just buzzes with energy. Like its whole form is about to it's about to just kind of undo itself, and the voice is like thunder, and yeah, just the weight of its rank really just kind of settles on you, and it goes, what?
You are the most incredible thing I have ever seen.
You come to pay homage.
That is not what I set out to do today, but it is certainly what I find myself doing.
Go ahead.
begun peering into this part of the world, your world, but nothing as intense as you have I seen before.
Yeah, it, swells up, chest out, preens. Do you bear a tithe?
I am afraid I have nothing suitable for you.
That's unfortunate.
It's kind of where it's leading. I think it's
Would Isabel know that she can feed spirits mana?
You cannot feed them mana.
Well, I thought you could as essence.
You need a spell to
That is a
transfer it.
familiar thing that lets you do that.
Right. Okay.
Channel Essence lets you move essence around and put it in your own pattern, but yeah, by itself, that's one of the big bonuses to the familiar bond. But and so Alphoth, rumbles and says, actually,
is there essence in the air?
No, there'd be resonance, and essence, would be in loci and stuff like that. But no, to be kind of blunt, the only local essence is in Ganem.
Right.
But no, it kind of looks down, says, "You call to me. You praise me, but you have nothing to feed me." I think is probably the term it's going to use.
I
have made a terrible mistake. Sorry.
I would not make this mistake again if given the chance. I'm going to use my sympathetic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Here. So I open myself up to a condition.
Sure.
And open 2 doors.
Okay. We're going to put that as odd. I don't think that's an actual condition, but you get it. Similar to swooned, I think in my head. But, it kind of looks down and, these like bright blue eyes and, a yellow, gold, white, kind of figure kind of says, "It has been long since I was worshipped and served by a priest. Is this your offer? Service?"
Yes.
How much hesitation is there?
Very little.
Yeah, there's worse jobs.
Lightning priest.
She can figure out her way. She can figure out how to talk her way out of this later if she needs to.
That's that good confidence. I like
but
that.
She's very serious in the moment.
With that kind of comment and the quickness to the answer, like there's that booming thunder again, far more laughter to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely get that whole, ride the storm wildness. And Alpha says, actually, yeah, I think Alpha looks down and says, "Ganem," and you just hear this whimper.
Oh no.
Says, I see you, little thing. Teach this one how it will serve me. And then Alfoth is just airborne. If you do want to throw in a quick scrutiny, just try and wear down. It's only got an opacity of 2, but I know that still could be rough when you're throwing a whopping 3 dice at it. But
hey, I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Sure.
Hell
You're gonna
yeah.
spend any mana.
Get extra
Yes.
successes.
How much mana are you gonna spend?
Can only spend 1.
The mana can't make it an exceptional success, correct?
Correct.
I'm gonna spend 1 mana.
Right, because if you get 1 success, then you knock out 2 doors. Or 2 opacity.
Right. I knock out the second level. 1.
All right.
Hooray.
Mark that down somewhere on your character sheet. Alfoth.
Alfoth.
Down to 1 opacity. As it just kind of flies up and you hear Ganem go, what just happened?
We just made our first inroads into the local courts.
I didn't think you humans were into courts. As you were getting, at this point, pummeled by the rain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm shouting to him as I ride back up out of the plane up towards the ridge. I don't know if there are others like me or that would make the same choices as me, but if you stay with me, this is what we're doing.
I don't have much choice. You have my damn flute.
You're gonna go far, kid.
Yeah, hell yeah. This sets up a subplot that I was not prepared for, but I am totally on board for. Cool.
It's real good.
So you meet up with Gisela and probably give a bit of a data dump as you guys run for cover out of the storm now. And we cut back to later that evening as Cloak steps into Theo's dreams. These are waking dreams, so I imagine Theo has a little bit of control here. It's, definitely the control of a novice at the wheel, but, basic enough to, steer the ship in a direction.
Sure. So you want me to paint the scene?
Yeah. What are we stepping into in Theo's dreams? And bear in mind, we only have half an hour, so don't.
Yeah.
Not too ornate.
I think we are in a room. There's a couple of women present. There's you see a younger Theo on a bed, and it looks very much. It would probably be familiar to folk in the process of midwifing at birth.
Theo is a midwife in this dream.
Theo is not a midwife. Theo is the girl in the bed.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I misunderstood you. That's what I was trying to confirm. Okay, cool. Yeah. So there's a woman who is a midwife.
There's a couple older ladies, kind of. Yeah, that's right. And I guess Theo is standing beside you as you pop in, sort of watching the scene. The older ladies one is working on the mother, the other one is working on the kid. The birth is proceeding as these things.
Cloak turns to Theo and asks, "Is this regret or hope?"
Hope. So you kind of look out the window a little bit. This is the birth of my son.
The Cloak looks really intensely at Theo and says, "I am very glad to know that you still feel hope, even though he is no longer with you. Or rather, even though some would say he is no longer with you.
She doesn't know what to say to that. So, what are we? What is this?
Well, why don't we see regret next, and then see what connects these two together?
And Theo's in control.
Technically, you're just meditating, so you have some control. I'm going to find the roles for that here momentarily, because I'm 90% sure Dream Reaching doesn't give you control.
I can be an active participant, but I don't
right.
take control.
Right. Scroll.
Let's see action inside.
Emanation rounds. Oh, there we are. Yeah, so -2 paradox on mind spells. Wait, nope, that's for the astral. Yeah, so this doesn't actually have any specific like rules about controlling your own dreams, but I think in this case it'll be a resolve plus composure to try and affect the dream.
That's what I figured you'd say. Oh yeah.
All right. We're in a city. Out right away from the sound. In a back alley. And a younger Theo. Well, it could be a large town, I guess. A younger Theo is currently going through someone. She's looks pretty rough and ragged and dirty, and she's checking for coin and things that might be valuable, checking the quality of the boots and stuff. This guy who just looked like he passed out. My mother had died. I was quite young. We'd been on the run for a long time.
From whom?
So long. And you see the guy on the ground start to stir. I don't want to see it.
Then why are we here? Oh, wait! Before you roll that, Cloak says, "Then why are we here?" You did not have to bring me here if you weren't going to see it.
Different. Knowing that this is part of me, and at this point, the guy like stirs and wakes up, and snatches and grabs her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that this is part of me, seeing it happen in front of me, very different. And they're now struggling.
How do you wish it would have happened?
He's big, much bigger than Theo. Theo's skin is scrawny. But she's like reaching out for something as he's got her pinned to the ground and closes over. I wish I'd left him alone.
Then why not witness that?
Because it's not what happened.
That's right.
And the young Theo smacks the guy with the brick, and he collapses on top of it. I know who I am. I know the things I've done to survive. I know the choices that I've made. Sometimes the consequences aren't what I envisioned. So they still make it. No, she's stuck here now.
Well, no, she has no active control.
Mhm.
Cloak
yeah.
says, our actions and their consequences stay with us.
Mhm.
Our feelings about them do not have to. Those can change. You consider this regretful because you made a choice to try and survive. And when you were caught, you harmed someone to protect yourself and continue to survive. Would you have preferred that you did not have food in that moment?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he was a husband, father. He was a drunk and not a good person. He was still a provider. I made someone else's life worse to better mine.
Do you think you bettered
And I
yours?
did it, and I... What's that?
Do you think you bettered yours?
For a time.
Yet, although the food satisfied you for a short while, this is still weighing you down.
I don't think about it often. But it's part of who I am.
Do you think that young girl would feel good to know that you are ashamed of her?
I can look back on it now different. I don't have the same attachment that I used.
Do you
Death is a
think
way
she
of
was...
putting things in perspective. But I remember the first time I looked into my daughter's face, and I thought about that I left someone without a father, and it hurt. But what happened here in this alley also taught me to be more careful, be more thoughtful, to imagine consequences, and to weigh them before I make it. It is a regrettable, not something I'm proud of, but I learned from this was a point of transition. I was a different person after this. And it continued to transform me as I grew older. It's hard to watch it but I know it's there. Something. A lot of who I am is in many ways built on what happened. That decision here led me to family. I might not have the daughter I have now. I hadn't been here this time. This thing.
Cloak nods.
Doesn't make sense.
No. But I think it might help now that you realize that if you were to have changed it somehow, herein you are regretting that you took a father away from his children. If you were to change what happened, you might take yourself away from your own daughter and your son and your husband.
Yeah.
The things that happen, our experiences, are not what holds us back. It is our thoughts about them, our feelings about them, our recognition of how they are neither solely good nor bad. Everything is connected. There are no boundaries between the experiences in our lives. We like to think of them as chapters in a book, stories we tell that we can just lock away somewhere and not have to do anything with. But that is not how life goes. Life is one uninterrupted, overlapping string, chain of cause and effect. And it merely is. When we come to understand that who we are and our feelings about who we are is the most important thing, we are able to escape the power that our past regrets have on us and embrace the hope that our experiences can give us. It seems like you have already described the aspect of these two versions of you that are present in both scenes. Your desire, your ability, your commitment to survive and endure. And that is a force of will that is powerful and necessary and does not persist in everyone.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. Just see things different. That lives are full of transition, big events, major occurrences, happenstance. These are things that affect us, and we are different people after them than we were before. We learn things or take things from them, gain scars, make us different, strengths, knowledge, wisdom. When you were in Haiti, suggests that you were a very different person you are now. That the arrival here marked a transition.
Yes,
So
I was more
I
physically
understand that.
violent.
But also a change perspective. Or I'm not disagreeing that our lives are, generally speaking, a linear construct as we accumulate knowledge and experience. Saying that there's certain fulcrums or loci in that thread that mark a transition from one state.
Hmm. To support
I
that,
was a different person. Yeah, I was a different person
I have-
before this, and I was a different person after. My girl Veloja was a different person before the attack that killed me. I'm trying to find transition that will help her be someone new after.
Hmm.
If that makes
It does. I'd like to support that
So
idea.
So how will this help her
Well,
going through a dream like this? And
I think that you see that we sometimes do not have control over the events of our past, even if we claim that we don't, or especially if we claim that we don't want to deal with them. We push them away. They are a part of our minds. They are present, moving around, and they affect us. Your desire to leave here as soon as we got here suggests that this still has great power over you. To touch on the idea of transition, I like to think of life as, well, what I've come to realize is this. Our experiences function like links in a long chain, connecting us to our past and our future. And when we go through these transition points, we add another link. The important thing about chains is they are only as strong as their weakest link. And if our links are full of regret, they limit our hope. If our links are full of weakness, they limit our strength. We have to reinforce them. And then on the notion of the people we are, I think that at these transition points, if we become another person, if we change, we just overlap with our previous self. There is no separation from who we were before and who we are now, even if we now embody the new version of ourselves. Your daughter must be going through some terrible trauma if she does not talk. And she did talk before. Those who are without sound, those who do not speak, that is not necessarily a traumatic thing for them. It can be, but I don't know what that is like, so I would not suggest it is a terrible thing, a terrible experience. There are all kinds of different ways of engaging the world. However, if your daughter's voicelessness is coincident with your death and resurrection, I would not be surprised if she has not come to terms with what it means for her that you returned, with what it means for her that her father and other members of her family are no longer here. I think if she were to visit her dreams and you were to witness the regrets she has and the hope that is only flimsy in her mind, you might recognize some things she thinks about herself that hold her back. You might find the links in her chain that you can strengthen.
What bears thinking about? I'm not sure I'm ready yet to proceed with that, but it definitely bears thinking.
I only want you to consider it.
I will. Thank you for this perspective.
Thank you for allowing me to visit your mind. If you'd like to visit my own, let me know.
I will.
And then before we leave, Cloak says, if you'll give me a moment. And he steps away from Theo in this place of regret, and he starts looking around. And he says, I think there is someone you need to know who's been looking after you this whole time. And I think the only way forward for you is to thank them and acknowledge their presence. So let's see what Cloak can do here.
What are you trying to do?
Yeah, Cloak wants to... trying to think of how this would work in terms of a practice.
Well, let's start with what are you trying to do?
Yeah, no, I know. What Cloak wants to do is... I know how it works in terms of practice. That's fine. Cloak wants to perceive a goetic entity. He doesn't think of it as a goetic entity. Cloak wants to know where the Met-Tet is, right? And try and find it, right? So Cloak's trying to see through anything that might cloud it, what's going on, and see if there's a way that he can point it out.
Yeah, so an unveiling.
To Theo. Cool, great, thank you. That's what I was hoping for. All right. Great. This could be instantaneous, so I don't think I need any extra. Well, I'll know what it is. Yeah, so I only need one reach. Right. And I don't think this would have withstand, right? Because I'm just unveiling something.
So unveiling, well, yeah, it wouldn't necessarily have withstand, but it may clash.
Okay, gotcha. Clashing's fine with me. Okay. Go. Spend another willpower. Well, that's 7.
Just for which. Yep.
Cool.
Yes.
Spell goes off.
So you're casting this just for that instantaneous moment, because
yeah, that's right.
Right. Even if we threw advanced duration on there, that wouldn't change anything. Cool. Roll Gnosis plus Arcana plus nil.
Right.
Yeah, we'll give you the +1 if you'd done it with advanced
duration.
reach. Just
cool. Okay, it's gonna be 4. Cloak wants to spend 1 more willpower. It's a good thing he has a big pool. There we go.
Very nice.
Ah!
nothing here, man.
Yeah, well, I noticed a clash.
That's true. Yes. Yeah. Something is here, but it doesn't want to be seen.
All right. So Cloak does something instantaneously and then turns to Theo and says, he takes a deep breath and he says, I am going to use some terminology in Vodou. It might not make complete sense to you. I think that you, even in this moment and through the other hard parts of your life, have had a protector, a Met-Tet. The Lua look after us, and they help us find and connect to God. And there is always one of them who knows our minds better and helps us tap into that which we should be doing and can do. I tried to find it just now, and it resisted. I know it's there, and I know it did not want to be seen, at least seen to me. There may be a way for you to see it on your own when I am not here, and maybe it does not feel threatened. And it would do you service to know it, to thank it, and to realize that if you regret this moment where it might have been helping you, it might not feel good about that.
So while you are in the midst of this discussion and explaining the Metet, the dreamscape around you begins to shift. It's not the sudden shift of when I almost said Craig. When Theo said, okay, we're going to go here now, this flows. And it's not from like one memory to another. This is more the dream landscape is shifting. And Cloak finds himself, on what terrain are we standing on out here, Craig, just to keep within your narrative?
Dirt alley.
Gotcha. And this separation, and Cloak ends up 10 feet below where Theo is. Sorry, I'm going to bring my hands up. And this, kind of ramp of dirt and these kind of crenellations kind of come up in front of Theo. This kind of castle parapet looking, and there is
a rampart.
Oh yeah. And there is like, how would you describe it? Yeah, I think there's just this hand on Cloak's shoulder. It just rests heavy and large and unseen for just a moment. Just this squeeze that is not necessarily a, hey, buddy, good job. It's more of a touch her and you die. And then it draws back from Theo, your perspective. There's nothing to see other than this. And now you are on this point of high ground and defended, and you have the elevation and you have the control.
Okay.
So it happens nearly instantaneously, right?
Yeah, it is this.
It's over, Cloak. I have the high ground.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. And more or less, it's at the spot where your Cloak is explaining, oh, you should thank them and stuff like that, and that it's like, nah, hang on, kind of suggestion.
Sort of like in the movies where the hallway's extending all of a sudden in a dream, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And specifically here to make sure the sensation that should go through this to Cloak is not necessarily that Cloak is wrong, so much as that Cloak may not know everything he feels that he knows, or he's not necessarily 100% correct. And Ralph, you and I we've talked about the low end stuff like that, so you and I are on the same page that way.
Yeah.
But
Cloak's thinking of it from his perspective from Fodu. Yeah. So when he is grasped, right? He will then, as he has done before as an Ungan, right? He will close his eyes. He will grasp his Asun, and then he will speak a ceremonial utterance of respect, because that's his tradition. So to try and make a positive impression on what he perceives to be is an incarnation of Aloha, right? So he'll say, I mean Theo no harm, and I respect your presence and protective agency over her. I will leave at your beckoning, or not beckoning, at your behest, and I ask that you allow me back in the future with her consent, so that I can help her understand her path.
There is no reply, but yeah.
That's what Cloak does. So I'm happy to make a roll as well if you think there would possibly be an effect. But this is mostly Cloak being like, this is what he does when he expected some kind of engagement.
Right. No,
so.
I'm on board.
All right, cool, great. So then he says to Theo, I think it is my time to leave.
Okay.
And I will see you on the outside.
And she's like this is interesting and stuff, but she's just curious to see what's going to happen next. Kind of Theo's.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I assume I'll just wake up eventually. She asked before locally.
Right.
You can enjoy your dreams.
Okay.
Yeah, because technically the dream reaching was just for him.
Yep.
With the resolve plus composure, you entered your own waking dreams. So, and that is a good spot as like Cloak dematerializes. A good spot for us to stop. So just a quick shout out to both Ralph and Craig here for playing the perspectives of a Moros and a Mastigos so fucking well.
Thank you.
Chains, no transitions. We were seeing the same things, but we were talking in different languages. But thank you all. I promise most days as we get in further will not be 45 minutes of talking, but it is the good shit, and I'll admit that's half the reason why I wanted new mages, is so they can argue about what they see and find their common ground and stuff like that. But as always, thank you for joining us. Come by Discord, eatinto.space. Come hang out with us there and chat about stuff. I already saw somebody asked about dodging lightning. And if you want to support us monetarily, subbing here on Twitch is cool. Patreon is the better place. And that's staylucky.club. I'll get there eventually. Again, quick little reminder about OPPCon this Friday. No matter if this, because Twitch guys is next Friday and YouTube guys it's this Friday. Either way, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which also coincides with E3. So I realized that during the break. I was like, oh man, I'm going to be overwhelmed with nerdiness, and I look forward to it. Let's see here. That. Yeah. So in that case, we will catch you all next time.
See y'all later.